secular Jews in America do tend to buy into progressivism. So it's like they're very different than Jews in Israel. They're kind of removed from reality. They buy into the progressive game of identity politics.
The political views of Jews in America are exactly the same as white people in the same status. So same education and same type of income.
Is it because they're secular or is it because they're leftists? Because I do know a lot of secular people who are properly patriotic and anti-shitty values like Islamism or progressivism.
They
I feel
also
like you can only
reform.
be
They have
so
they
far
have different.
left until you stop losing some patriot, because like America is the vanguard of capitalism.
Yay.
I mean,
What do you mean?
reformed. All of them.
But we have secular Jews that are extremely capitalistic, extremely patriotic,
Yeah, those are an
extremely
extremely far left.
Zionist. Yeah, so I'm saying it's not about being secular, it's about being far left. Like far leftist Jews are like this, not secular Jews.
The most formidable people when it comes to debates about these issues, some of the most, impressive debaters that argue for the other side, for the lefty woke side, are Jews. They're very good at it, right?
But that's not fair to blame the Jews.
It's not
because
fair,
Jews
no.
Yeah, because Jews are just good at debate. They would be good at debating both sides of this argument. Yeah. Does Nick have a lot of Jew fans? Because he claims that he has a lot of
Jewish fans.
He has some.
I think he says Jewish fans or friends.
He has Jewish
fans.
fans. Yes.
Fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
He when he goes to places, he has black people coming in and celebrating him, asking him for signature, and Jews coming and asking him for signature, women who he said will be, and also Muslims. He has Muslim
There's
fans.
There's a clip of a Jewish guy walking past him and Destiny eating outside in Miami, if you haven't seen it. And the Jewish guy says to him, "Hey, you're Nick Fuentes." And he says, hey.
First, it was like, you know what? I'm Jewish, but I'm not a Zionist. I'm one of the good guys. But now that's not good enough, because even if you're not a Zionist, you're Jew. Now it's like, hey, I'm Jew, but I'm not Talmudi Jew. So I don't know what the next step is going to be.
That's some Jew crowism bullshit.
Khalid wanted to say something. I saw him raising his hand.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of these groups think they're American because for them they think white and America are connected. In reality, it's not like that. And all these groups think that to be a true American is to assimilate yourself with white people. That's what they think. But that's not American idea. American ideas are liberty and freedom and equality. That's the American way. Or this.
Yep. Yeah, America was founded based on we're looking at merit, not anything else. That was the whole point of America.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
saying.
trying.
The merit idea is corrupted by outside groups that have a group coherence that outsmarts the merit system. And that's why Jews are in positions of power, for example, because they all help each other, and this idea, that's how it works. So they say, yeah, merit is, it's good, but it's not working because of all these groups. If we just were white, then we can have a merit system.
Oh, Greg, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just going to reiterate my same point. The American way is based on liberty and freedom and the belief that all people are created equal. And Nick's ideal, the way he wants to reshape our country in a way that makes policy based on race, is antithetical to the most fundamental American values, considering he calls his movement the America First movement.
He also abolished part of the Constitution. I mean, he said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that's a good example for you not being freaking American, isn't it?
I want to suggest something because the argument you're making, Greg, is kind of they'll say, well, we don't like these principles, they're not working anymore, or whatever. I think one good argument is to show how it's bad for America from a financial and geopolitical point of view. So, will Americans be richer or poorer if they follow Nick's ideas? Will they be stronger in the world, more influential or less influential? Will they have more threats or less threats? That's what really comes down to. That's what people care about. I'm going to be
But
safe. I'm going to have more money.
I think he will lose some people, though, if he's forced to really say what he believes in that regard, in terms of how he wants to change America. Because he kind of softens himself and he dances around it a little bit. And he's like, he was asked a question, I forget who asked it. I was watching some interview, and he said, the question was, let's pretend you're the president of America. Would you want to get rid of Jewish people or all these different races?
God,
And his
how
question was, well,
He said he wants to execute them.
oh, I didn't hear that.
Well, he said
That
that
will
they do
happen.
sorcery and they need to be executed, the ones who do sorcery.
My fear is not that Nick will become president, but that in order to get voted, someone like J.D. Vance will maybe make the relationship with Israel less good for us. For example, will make it, it will kind of just incorporate a little bit of Nick's ideas and hope that they will get some votes.
Yeah, I think that's a very serious threat.
So here's one thing that you could point to. America became America with the Declaration of Independence. And right at the beginning of the second paragraph, we have this famous line that it says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their creator with certain inalienable." Like, it starts, like, America started by talking about the equality between all men. Okay, so if he's saying that, like, what would, like, put yourself in his shoes, what is it about America that he likes then? Like, what is
That
it,
it's
like, how is he American?
that it's European and Christian.
But that's not what makes America America. Like, we can see the things that made America America.
He
The
thinks
How
Boston
is that
Tea
America?
Party happened for a reason. I don't think that they want to be part of the Europe, white, whatever.
but that's what they want now. They don't care about the Tea Party. They're different people with different ideas. They're not Protestants. They're Catholic, most of them, etc.,
So
etc.
how does oh yeah, so actually that's a good point. If he thinks America should be white because Americans were mostly white, then why does he shouldn't America be Protestant? He wants a Catholic theocracy. Most Americans
I
were
didn't say it was
Protestant.
consistent. He just wants it the way he wants it, okay? And everything is just reasoning around it.
So he doesn't want America. He wants, like
No.
based on what we're saying, like, he wants Nick Fuentes's
Yes.
republic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wants his needs like fulfilled.
But how would he respond if you point this out to him, that this is not America that you're defending? You're just defending.
I
Well,
think that
actually, I shouldn't say republic. It's a theocracy.
I think that
Yeah, I think
maybe
that's a good question.
I think that maybe it would be beneficial in that case to attack his utopia. If we are to divide in the manner and in the fashion that Nick Fuentes described, what would happen in America would basically start as a war to eliminate either colors, but these things never end, because when you start this division, it will very quickly deteriorate from color to original ethnicities, Irish, German, and so on. Being white will not be enough. Because I don't think that countries unite over colors. European countries fought other European countries over years. They were both white. So I think that this utopia will shoot itself in the head if it will reach real ground.
One good question is, like, okay, but based on what you want to bring, you want a Christian theocracy. Can you demonstrate to us that working? Like, American values were based on something else, and they became the greatest nation on earth. You want a Christian theocracy. Do you have an example of that working better than what America did? Like, these are the questions that we need to be asking. Like, why is, oh my God, I want to debate him. I don't
Yeah.
think they would survive these questions. Yeah.
This little
Yeah.
snake.
Are they happy in the Vatican?
Vatican
Right.
is like more of a city state protected by Rome as protected
But
by
that's
like Italy,
but it
and
is a
it's a
Catholic
bunch.
theocracy.
One of the
It's
reasons
not like
we have freedom of religion in the United States, with my understanding, what I was taught by a Catholic priest is that because this is, God wants us to be free. So in America, we believe that everybody should be free. If we're not free, we can't make our own decisions. And that's why we have freedom of religion.
I think appeal to principles is not the way to go with them.
yeah. That's why I want to show. I want. They need to show this. We have better. This is what we have. We don't have principles because if you said this is good, we're like, well, they're going to say, well, no, that is good. What we have that we should be using is demonstrating the consequences, because America has a good record of what ideas work. You don't have that evidence for what your ideas. You could basically demonstrate, look, these were the values and this is the result.
And
Show
what if
me
you say
show me what you got.
and what if you say that no country was trying to work and establish itself around the idea of being white, so you can't know this?
Then why take a chance? We have had countries trying to have identities based on ethnicities. We have other countries that have identities based on ethnicities. None of them became as powerful and as great as America, right? America was an experiment centered around the idea of making a country based on a methodology and a set of values. And that experiment has demonstrated to be successful. Why do something else when it
So
has
he
been
will
proven?
bullshit all the numbers, the IQ, white, 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 right, right, right.
I mean, the IQ numbers are correct, though. White people have higher IQ numbers, but he doesn't. He can show that, and that is correct. But he doesn't demonstrate those. What those numbers don't demonstrate is that those higher IQs are because of environments, not because of. There's nothing inherent about being white. Like, for
Yeah, I think
example,
it's
Jewish
like,
people. Yeah,
sorry.
you go on. No, you go on.
I was just gonna say, I think like the first generation Black Nigerian immigrants have more master's degrees per capita than any other group in the country.
If you go to Nigeria itself, I don't think you're going to see such good numbers. But that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, like, imagine what the loss to your country would be if you just are like, well, they're black, so we're not going to accept them. It's obviously a net benefit for your country. In fact, if anything, it's unfair to Nigeria. You're basically taking their best and stealing them from Nigeria. But that's what you're supposed to do if you care about your own country more. And like, no, you're not. You're ruining their country. It's brain drain. You call it the brain drain for a reason. I saw a lot of far right people getting butthurt over Trump saying like, "Oh yeah, we do need the H-1B visa." And you guys saw that interview? The lady was like, "What do you mean? Like we need to bring talent?" And the the interviewer, the lady said like, "We have talent here in America," and Trump said, "No, we don't." And so many right leaning people were so upset. And like, Trump is calling Americans dumb. No, but that's not the point. I mean, the H-1B visa needs to be reformed because right now it's not being used the way that it was intended to be used. Like a lot of bad people are getting in using the H-1B visa. But you do need the H-1B visa because even if you have the best talent, at some point your markets will grow enough to use up all those talents. Well, all the genius people are so high in demand that the market will grow enough to use every single one of them, and you could only produce a certain level number of geniuses. After that, if you want to grow even more, then you have to go see if other people have geniuses that we could steal to bring into America. That will still be a net benefit for you. Even if you have more geniuses than other people, it still makes sense to go take other people's geniuses and add to that. It's good for America to do that. America's technology and science grew because of this, because of the brain drain from the rest of the world. America was the best place for the greatest talent all around the world. Anywhere in the world where people ended up being really good at what they do, the best thing they could do was to move to America, and America took full advantage of that. It's probably one of the reasons it became such a great superpower.
They should have taken the Jews that were trying to get out of Germany in the 1930s.
I mean, the Jews that they did take in probably made them win the Second World War and the Cold War. Yeah, so it would have been better if they taken in more Jews, but they did take in some Jews, and it did make a huge difference. As
And those who they didn't take in went and built the 12th strongest economy today. So it was a pretty big loss, I think,
Yeah,
for them.
real.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh my god. Well, it's actually it was a good thing that they didn't take them in, because maybe
Yeah,
Israel
'cause
wouldn't
I
be
was
a
just
thing.
thinking that when he said that, but then I'm like,
Yeah.
but so many people died who didn't get to go anywhere.
I mean,
Did they
FDR was racist, so I mean, like, even though he was, you can argue, a decent president. That's just I'm saying.
But I just want to say this was a really good recording of all these points. Like, we need to get a lot of this is a very good conversation that I think this was a higher level of conversation about this topic than I've seen anybody discussing Nick Fuentes and their movement anywhere else. So yeah. But go on, Nessie.
I wanted to ask you about Iran. Are they going to fire him?
Well, it seemed like people are talking about him retiring. Why? What did you hear? Like he giving up his job himself because
Yeah.
yeah, that's what he seemed like. There's some rumors about him trying to leave because he's not being able to deliver on anything that he said he was going to deliver during his campaign. And he promised during his campaign that if I can't deliver, I would just quit. And he's not delivering. Not only he's not delivering, everything is getting 10 times worse every day. Things are getting worse. It's like I'm not even keeping track anymore because it's so depressing how fast things are getting worse in Iran right now. It's kind of like it blows your mind. It's just stories after stories of people not being able to afford food, people not being able to
I heard
afford
that.
this.
I heard somebody said online that you can work a whole day and what you will make at the end of the day will be enough for you to buy a sandwich.
Yeah, it's now becoming almost a daily tradition where people keep videoing their fridges and showing that it's empty and how much they could afford, showing the food that they're eating for lunch, showing that there's no meat in it, but telling people that it has been this many months since they've tested meat, for example. It's really bad. People go to the stores to just look at the fruits without buying them, missing the days that they used to have the parties with fruits and different things.
Supposed to be on the top of these kind of things. Now I understand that there are sanctions over Iran, but the sanctions do not include food, I think.
So okay, but this is a different kind of problem. Okay, so it's not like food for shortages in a way that you see in a famine like situation like Yemen, where the UN would be involved. I personally think this hurts people more. This type, because here's the thing: what you're experiencing in Iran is people who had higher normal lifestyles, and now they're experiencing poverty. If you have people who have already lived in poverty and they haven't experienced a different type of life, that wouldn't cause this level of depression and anxiety and hopelessness. In Iran, the reason why we're experiencing so many people being so hopeless and sad is because the life that they're experiencing is not what they're used to. Like, it's not like in Yemen where people were already poor. Like, these are people who had really good lifestyles, and taking that away from somebody hurts them more compared to somebody that was already living in poverty. Is downgrading is really hard, especially for men who are taking care of a family. you know you just I don't know if some women could understand how big of a gut punch it is for you not to be able to afford taking care of your wives and children, because that's your responsibility. Like
especially in
if
the
your
Middle
child
East.
yes, exactly. We have like videos of a father like putting an anonymous audio out there to mainstream media, like sending it, and he was crying, and he was like, "I wanted my son came to me and asked for a bike, and I could not afford it." And he was swearing at Khamenei, and he says, "Just come and kill me. Like, what do I have to say for you guys to come and kill me? Like, I just want to come out there and swear at all of you guys so that you could just kill me, so I don't have to experience this ever again."
It's sad.
Yeah.
So if we connect it to our last conversation about Iran, because you said that some of the Iranian, maybe it was Jewish Tom, I don't remember. Other Jewish Tom said that people might wait a little bit with the revolution in Iran because if there's another round with Israel, it will save many lives of revolutionary people. And I thought about it, and it could lead into this circular thing that the Iranian government understand it, and so they're arming themselves and they're trying to appear as if they're
Yeah.
going to attack Israel, but they're not going to attack Israel because this sitting on the edge is what prevents the revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, might be more correct than you realize, because the Islamic Republic has the philosophy that war will save them, because the Iran-Iraq war saved them from collapse. So they think there's a blessing in war when we will be able to we will have, in a wars like situation, we have more excuses to suppress people and justify a lot of military presence in the streets, arresting people for being on the side of the enemy, justifying poverty. Like, oh, you don't have food? It's not our fault. It's because we're in war. This is just normal for warlike situations. Oh, we don't have water. We don't have electricity. Well, we're in the middle of a war. This is why all of this is happening. It's not our fault. It's Israel's fault that is attacking us. So there are some people within the Islamic Republic who think that war is a blessing, and their survival once was because of war, and if we could bring war again to the country, it might save us again.
You know, they could start war with Israel, cry genocide, and then get like food and money.
The money that we're talking about is so much more astronomical than aid could make it any difference, right? We're talking about 90 million people, and transferring funds doesn't generate wealth. Production generates wealth. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you need to have your industries actually producing. Nothing could replace that. It would be like a drop in a bucket.
Iran is like a fulfillment of what the CCP is saying. If you fight Israel, you destroy your own country.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing a very good job. I mean, here's the problem with the Islamic Republic is that it actually benefits from Iranian people being poor. Like, this is not usually normal with other dictatorship. Like, you could be a dictatorship, but have a dictator that has that's some alignment of interest with his people. Like, even with dictatorships, most dictatorships, even though they are not really accountable to the people, it still benefits them for their people to get richer. I mean, there is always some degree of accountability, even in dictatorships. So it makes sense for the dictator to maintain its power by keeping some people, many people, happy to a certain degree. But there are multiple factors in Iran that makes us a unique situation where the government actually benefits from the poverty of its people.
How do they benefit?
Okay, so one is the government in Iran gets paid in dollars, but their expenses are in reals, right? So they sell oil and they get paid by the sale of oil and gas in dollars, and their expenses are in reals. So the more the price of their own currency falls, the more of the gap between their income and their expenses are going to be, right?
Right.
So that's one,
But
right?
can they still
And
get
but
dollars right now?
yeah, I mean, whenever you sell oil, you sell it in dollars. right? That's
Not
how.
even so, they're selling to Russia for rubles or something, and they don't know what to do with the rubles. But and people,
Most of their sale is to China right now, which is still
okay,
in dollars.
I understand.
But that's just one of the reasons. There are multiple reasons. Another reason is that the poorer the Iranian people become, it's easier to recruit people to suppress anybody. The more poor people are, the more working for the government is going to be the only source of income. So it's easier for people to rely on the government for income when all the alternative sources of income are kind of dead. And also it's cheaper to pay somebody to beat other people for being against the government. Another reason is that we have IRGC controls a whole bunch of the economy. Many of the industries are completely controlled by IRGC, which doesn't have to compete with the private sector. So they have basically a monopoly in many different industries. So if you open Iran's economy to the world and for the private sector to be able to grow, so the private sector being poor means that the IRGC has complete control, monopolizing different industries, right? So it's good for
Yeah, money is
IRGC. So it's good for IRGC because here's the thing: the problem is the government is not just like the military and the police. IRGC is the government in Iran, and IRGC has decided to be more than the government and also be many of the largest industries of the country. And because now it's involved in the industries, a weaker private sector means that it has nothing to compete with. So they actually don't allow the private sector to grow, even though that's where people could make the most money because IRGC wants to maintain its monopoly. Also, the IRGC welcomes the sanctions, right? Because that means that not only does it doesn't have to compete with its own private sector in the country, it doesn't even have to compete with foreign competitors, like
Right.
foreign companies coming and compete and trade as well. So it's like the ultimate monopoly.